But again, it comes back to people will be watching this. The English football from the 80s has been so popular, and people will obviously have memories of you because you've got quite I was trying to how to a distinctive gait. Would you say that you've got a very distinctive gait on you? And of course, like Macca, played for England and scored a goal for England against the might of San Marino. Let's have a look at that now. Now, this isn't the famous England-San Marino game. This is the game against San Marino at Wembley when I don't think England conceded. It was 6-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 6.
And I think, did you get the third or the fourth? I think it was a third or the fourth.
I think it might have been a third. It was a bit of a lull in the game, and we needed to get a goal. So
let's have a look at it. We're going. It's a bit like This Is Your Life,
so,
isn't it?
Yeah. So let's
have a look at Carlton's goal against San Marino.
So Les Ferdinand says he made it for me. That's what he said.
And Massimo Bernini really gave that away, the most experienced player. And this is Ferdinand, and Palmer's coming in. 4. Carlton Palmer scores his first goal for England.
What was he doing in the box? Didn't we tell him to hold the middle of the pitch? Hey?
I think light-heartedly, Graham Taylor asking what you were doing so far forward. I mean, I've been privileged enough to meet Graham Taylor. I know you've both obviously worked with him on a football field. Lovely guy.
Great
but that bit of Graham Taylor you saw there was part of a very famous documentary that was made in England that followed Graham Taylor around, called The Impossible Job, I think it was. Now, you told me you've never seen this. You're actually one of the focal parts of it. You don't come out of it looking too bad, because obviously all the negativity's featured on Graham. But you know, you must have been aware that people were criticising the fact you've been selected for England because you were more of a, as you said, your game was all about fitness and energy rather than finesse, maybe.
People can criticise, and they tend to when you don't look like a footballer. I mean, I'm ungainly, I probably look more like a basketball player. But that's the simple fact is, in the early 90s, I was playing at Sheffield Wednesday, which was one of the top clubs, competing at the top of the leagues, in cup finals, and I was one of the best central midfield players in the country. So I earned my caps on merit, and you know, the one thing I didn't do, the one thing I've never done and will never do is court the press. And a lot of people get caps off the back of managers who like to court the press, like the Terry Venables who took over. I knew before Terry Venables took over at the England job, I'd never play for England again, because he's in with the London Mafia. You know, it's a bit like Sam.
I think Macca had that experience in England, because you didn't probably get as many England caps as your career
only because Robbo was the captain. Robbo was never going to be left out unless he was injured, and very rarely. And then you had Gazza coming through as the young kid on the block. You know, David Platt, who I made David Platt what he is today. Because he came, I got substituted against Belgium in the World Cup, and he scored the overhead kick. He scored the overhead kick. They don't remember me coming off for him. So we had Glenn Hoddle, Ray Wilkins.
Yeah, it was.
We had just an outstanding backup of midfield players. Peter Reid. You know, the list goes on and on and on with the players. So we just have to be patient.
But again, in your case, it's probably just a question of if the England manager at that moment in time fancies you, you're going to be a fixture, and if he changes and the other guy doesn't.
No, but I don't think it actually, to be honest with you, I don't think it actually works like that, because I honestly believe that in recent times the press have a big influence on who is selected.